There is a false doctrine that says a Christian cannot fall from grace. It is also called perseverance of the saints, or sometimes once saved, always saved. It originates from a system of theology promoted in the 16th century during the Reformation movement by John Calvin. It has been accepted by many in the denominational world today. This doctrine is false because it contradicts what the Bible teaches. In 2 Peter 2:20-22, Peter warns Christians not to go back into the world and become even worse off than they were before. Hebrews 2:1 tells us, "Therefore we must give the more earnest heed to the things we have heard, lest we drift away." In 1 Corinthians 10:12 it says, "Therefore let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall." Hebrews 3:12 and verse 14 says, "Beware, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living God. For we have become partakers of Christ if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast to the end." And then there are many Bible examples of Christians that were in danger of falling or had fallen from grace. Paul, in 1 Corinthians 9:27, realized that he too could become disqualified or fall away. The Corinthians were warned by Paul in 1 Corinthians 10:12 to take heed lest they fall. Then there were the Galatian brethren who were holding on to the old law for justification, and Paul simply tells them they had fallen from grace. And you remember Simon the sorcerer in Acts chapter 8 was a Christian who was told by Peter that he must repent and pray for forgiveness because he had become bound by iniquity. Hymenaeus and Alexander were described as having made shipwreck of their faith. In Revelation chapter 2 and 3, you remember the 7 churches of Asia had to repent of their sins and overcome in order to have access to the tree of life. But what are the dangers of this false doctrine? Is there any harm in it? Well, number one, it teaches that Christians can live in sin and still be okay, when in reality they will be lost. This really typifies a classic deception by Satan. Number two, it minimizes the struggle involved in bearing our cross for Christ. In Mark 8:34, Jesus said that we are to take up our cross and follow Him. This false doctrine tells us to relax and take it easy, build bigger barns, that all is well, when it's not. Thirdly, this false doctrine does not paint a true picture of someone who has fallen from grace. In 2 Peter 2:22, it is described as a dog returning to his own vomit, or a clean sow returning to the wallowing in the mud.